I court the idea of peace in the world, knowing that as I am peaceful, as I am loving, as I am generous, and as I am kind, that is exactly what I embody in the world. And I know that all of the ideas that I move through me in goodness and in plenty and in love and in affirmation and gratitude are all the words that I embody. And I communicate that to everyone I meet simply because it is part of who I am. And I know that this is how life works. I am grateful to know that this service is a service to all. It is uplifting. It brings peace into the world. And I do know that as we move through our authentic selves, that everything is lifting, is rising, and becoming more and more of that power, the presence that was within us. I am so incredibly grateful to know that as I make a decision, as I set an intention to be that moreness, that goodness, that plenty of myself, that is actually and exactly what I receive. So in gratitude for all of the many blessings that are poured all over me all of the time, I recognize them. I'm grateful. And I'm grateful that this word is absolutely taken and brought into my life experience, and I can say, and so it is. And so now we're inviting up Katie Frankel to do the announcements.
Thank you so much, Reverend Catherine. Good morning to my Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living family here in the sanctuary and on YouTube. My name is Katie Frankel. I am the current president of the board of directors, and today, thank you. Today, I am so grateful for this teaching, and I thank each of you here in person with us today and also online. It was raining outside earlier, but the sun has come out and the sun is shining. Can you feel the warmth here in our sanctuary? We are bringing the sunshine too with our speaker, Executive Director Valerie Reeves. Today, our Redondo Beach CSL annual meeting is at 12:30 in the sanctuary. You'll leave this meeting knowing a lot more about the current and future state of our center and how you can support us. You'll also meet the other board of trustees and help us welcome 2 new board members. You must be a member to attend this meeting, so quickly check with the front desk after to confirm. Also today, the South Bay Dance Club has a happy St. Patrick's Day dance in Richelieu Hall at 4:30 p.m. For more information, please see a flyer in the foyer or Donna Phelan. Donna, raise your hand. Donna is here. All right, Donna, I don't see you. Donna Phelan is here. And she is our resident dancer. She's a champion of the center, and she's actually former board president. This week, you guys, Monday is the second class of our balance class at 11 a.m. It's $10 per class, and flyers are in the foyer. Also on Monday, the men's group meets at 7 p.m. in the foyer. Then every Tuesday at 10 a.m., Reverend Kathy's in-person book reading continues. The book is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. At 11 a.m. on Tuesdays, we have yoga class. Bring your mat. The cost is $10. And on Wednesday this week at 9:45 on Zoom for our online friends, our book reading titled Learn to Live by Irvin Seal continues. Please email the office for a Zoom link. Looking ahead, Sunday, March 12th, our teens are going to have a workshop here, and if you'd like more information about what this is and when it is, please see Maureen McKinney. Reverend Catherine probably knows as well. Next Sunday, the 12th, we're also having our women's circle after service. And next Sunday, the 12th, is daylight savings time. I can't even believe this. Don't forget, we're springing forward. Reminder that our Science of Mind Sunday class, this meets before service each Sunday at 10:15, and it goes to 10:45. January 30th through April 4th is the Season for Nonviolence, which is dedicated to demonstrating that nonviolence is a powerful way to heal, transform, and improve our lives and communities. Inspired by the 50th and 30th memorial anniversaries of Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., this international event honors their vision for an empowered, nonviolent world. There are copies of the 64 days available at our front desk, and you can also receive a PDF if you email the front desk. Today is day 35, and the theme is understanding. Thich Nhat Hanh says, "When you understand, you cannot help but love. Practice looking at all living beings with the eyes of compassion. Send a silent thought of love to 10 people today, and then share your experience with someone." Speaking of sending love, we sent a big thank you to all our wonderful volunteers, and I just saw Lorian at the front desk, so shout out for showing up for that. We appreciate you and all our volunteers today. Before we welcome back one of our favorites, reminder that CDs are always available to purchase after every Sunday. By buying the music of our musical guests, you can support them. And now I'm really excited to welcome back Michael Paul Smith.
Good morning, Redondo. So good to be here with you all on this rainy Sunday. I guess we needed the rain. So, I'm gonna build a mountain from a little hill. Gonna build a mountain. At least I hope I will. Gonna build a mountain, gonna build it high. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, only know I'm gonna try. Gonna build a daydream from a little hope. Gonna build a daydream up that mountain slope. Gonna build a daydream, I'm gonna see it through. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, only know I'm gonna try. Well, you know what? I plan to build that mountain, yes, and I'm gonna push my daydream up that mountain. Oh, you don't believe me? That's right, I'm gonna do it. That mountain is gonna be so high. Woo! It's gonna be hard to climb. But with my daydream, it's gonna be just fine. Gonna build a heaven from a little helps. I'm sorry. Gonna build a heaven. At least I know I will. When I build my mountain with a lot of care, gonna take my daydream up the mountain, heaven will be waiting there. Now I build my heaven, and it's here to stay. And the congregation says, amen, Brother Smith, 'cause it's here to stay. When this brand new world, I'll take my place and take my daydream up the mountain, heaven will be waiting there. I'll take my daydream up the mountain, heaven will be waiting there. I'll take my daydream up the mountain, and heaven will be waiting there. Oh, I see you so clearly now.
Thanks, Michael Paul. I love it when he goes for the high notes because he's got such a gorgeous, deep voice. Congratulations, dear. So, we know that there's wonderful advice from Oscar Wilde, who said, be yourself because everybody else is taken. And, you know, today's talk is about authenticity, but I found an even better reminder of what it is. And it's from the great mystic, Dr. Seuss. Today you are you, that's truer than true. There's no one alive that is youer than you. That's incredibly profound in my book. So put simply, authenticity means you're true to your own personality, your values and your spirit, regardless of the pressure that you feel you're getting from other people to act otherwise. You're honest with yourself and with others, and you take responsibility for your actions and your mistakes. Your values, your ideas and your actions all align. That's authenticity. So when we take time to sit with our inner guide, it might surprise us to find out that we no longer have some of the ideas we had before, but we just haven't looked at them. We have experiences that surprise us, and they force us to acknowledge that there's another way of looking at things, and certainly ideas that are worth considering. We can become aware that life is different to what we're used to by talking with others, chatting in a respectful way, traveling, doing things that pushes that extra little distance. And we can be open to others without sacrificing our self-worth. We then have the ability to put ourselves in other people's shoes and see the world from their perspective. And we can find common ground. And it's regardless of how different we might find them to be from us. I have to slip this story in because I feel it shows how we might not always communicate clearly with other people initially. I don't know if you've been to Wales, but I think it's a Welsh sport that they delight in the fact that we cannot pronounce these names that have few vowels. And I found the name of a little village, and the name of the village is 52 letters long. I lost count, and I refused to try and pronounce it. But there were two tourists that came into a little diner where this chap was sitting. And one of them said to the waitress, "Excuse me, could you pronounce the name of this place? Because my wife and I have been arguing about it, and we'd like to learn to say it properly." So the waitress leant over the table, and with great sincerity she said, "It's Burger King." Communication. So fear of rejection often prevents us from being our authentic selves, because we're so frightened of how people feel we should act, and we put on masks. And as you know, we've been sharing thoughts about Michael Singer's book, The Authentic Self. The Untethered Soul. Oops. And but that's what it's all about. And he explains that the freedom to really connect with life and with others is blocked in by us building walls. And these walls, or these protective barriers, may start when we're children, and we get a thorn stuck in our psyche. Now, the obvious answer to that is to pull it out, but we're not always taught to express our feelings, and so we protect the thorn. And he goes into elaborate descriptions of sometimes we really build fabulous protection around these thorns. In the end, we don't know who we are, and we don't know why we operate sometimes, and we don't feel authentic. And so this book encourages us to look at those walls. And initially, you're not even conscious of having them. But if you don't feel you're being authentic, it's time to look at them. So it takes courage to learn how to be real. But when you do, you're going to set yourself free. And you're going to build a life that brings you joy and brings you meaning. It mightn't happen overnight, but you can get there. So I'm using a few of Dr. Frank's words from his book, The Art of Being Yourself, which I recommend. And I'd like you to repeat them with me. I'm spiritually centered, so the real me is just fine. My life unfolds in wonderful, unique, and in creative ways. And as I look within and I accept I look within and I accept who I really am. And so it is. Now we're going to have Reverend Mary come up and do our little prayerful introduction in today's talk, a musical introduction.
Thank you, Reverend Kathy. Great lesson. We didn't applaud her. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul. Let spirit flow. Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul. Show me the kingdom everywhere I go.
Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul. Let spirit flow. Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul. Show me the kingdom wherever I go.
Woo, good morning. Thank you. Good morning, RBCSL, whether you're on with us live or you're here live and in person. Those are the words of Emma Curtis Hopkins, teacher of teachers in New Thought. Rise up, oh my soul. And somebody took and put it to music, which is beautiful and brilliant. And I'll go a little bit more into that. So as Reverend Kathy said, today it's all about authenticity. How authentic are you? Because we're all an original, so we want to embrace that authenticity. So once upon a time, there were twins conceived in the womb, and they were loving where they were at. It was a beautiful, wonderful, loving space, and as they grew in awareness. Oh, It's so beautiful and so warm and so embracing here. And as they grew more, things started to shift a little bit. And one of them said, what does this mean? And the other said, it means that we will not be here in this space forever. Someday we're going to be born. Oh, no. But is there life after birth? And the other said, I don't know. And the one got very frightened and said, people have talked of the mother, but have you ever seen her? We don't even know if she's real. Nobody has ever been born and come back to tell us. And someday, one day, we won't be connected to the umbilical cord anymore, and we will be off. And the day happened, and they were born to life. Ah, such a beautiful story of our life, right? Things we may not be aware of, and we can contemplate all we want, but that awareness of spirit that flows through, that life is eternal. And knowing that without a shadow of a doubt lets us come here and celebrate who we are right here, right now. So in the authenticity, I'm going to talk about awareness, I'm going to talk about compassion, and I'm going to talk about courage, the courage to be yourself. So the first part is awareness. How aware are we? You know, when we're children, maybe our parents say, oh, don't act like that, don't be like that. And maybe we take that on. The teachers at school will say, stay in your seat, don't do this, don't do that. So then we start shutting maybe ourselves down, and there's that wanting to connect. So we may be holding ourselves back from the brilliance of who we are. Authenticity, Brené Brown says, be who you are. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. Embrace who you are. You know, as we were kids, we were trying to fit in. It's that tribal thing. I think of Survivor. The tribe has spoken. You are voted off because you did not fit. So I want to make sure that I am being authentically me. Because when I'm communicating with other people, as brilliant as all of you are, if I'm not telling the truth about something, on some level we get that doesn't feel authentic or something feels off. There's a brilliant show that I've been watching. I don't know if any of you are watching it. It's called Love on the Spectrum. Anybody? Oh my gosh. I find myself watching this show. It's young adults that are autistic, and they're set up on dates because they want to find love. And they're so true and so authentic. I find myself sitting there smiling through the whole show, laughing, crying, when I see these parents see the brilliance of their child going to the next level in life. It is the most heartwarming show I've ever seen. It's so beautiful because it's done with so much love. And Spirit is calling, and we are going to answer that call to the authenticity of who we are. I'm knowing that we have the awareness of the brilliance that flows within us. And maybe we've covered it up with other stuff. It's one of those things to really take a look within. Am I being truly who I am? Or am I pretending in different crowds? My children used to say, I can tell who you're on the phone with based on your conversation, because maybe you're this way with this person, you're this way with this person, you're totally open with this person. So it's like, I want to be open all the time, and I'm pretty much, if it's in my head, it's out my mouth. I'm pretty just who I am. I got to be me because I can't be anything else. But I know sometimes when maybe we're in a meeting or we're at work or something, it's like, I got to be like this. And it's like, let me still embrace every part of who I am. And then we move to that compassion part. Do I have compassion for myself? Do I forgive myself for the things that I've done? On Wednesday, I talked about my addiction to judgment, and it's like I found myself a little addicted to judgment. Anybody else, maybe? You don't have to raise your hand, that's okay. But I went to people that maybe I had shared a story with, and I'm like, please forgive me, I didn't mean to be having a conversation. And one of my friends said, you were just venting, you weren't complaining. And I said, well, I do apologize, because I don't want to just be venting like that. And he said, you don't have to ask for my forgiveness, maybe ask for your own forgiveness. Yeah, that hit me at the heart. I'm like, okay. So, bottom line in life, we always get to live with ourselves. Wherever we go, there we are. So having that love and compassion for ourselves to move forward, regardless of what we've done. Let me be the first one to admit if I've made a mistake. Let me be the first one to apologize if I've done something that harmed another. And let me make sure that I am doing things with integrity. Because again, I get to live with myself 24/7, 365, maybe 366. So I want to make sure that I'm being compassionate in that space. And that I have that total awareness that life is good and life is very good. And I keep focusing on that. If we keep seeing things as they are, they stay the same. But if we keep that dream and those wonderful visions inside of us, reaching for the mountains, as Michael Paul Smith was singing, looking at the next level. And I love this philosophy so much. What I love most, because I feel like even when I was 8 years old, there was a picture of a man-made picture of God on the wall, and I thought, that doesn't seem real, that there's some old man in the sky judging me. That doesn't feel right. Something about that just never worked for me, and maybe you're like I am, that it's like, I don't believe that. God isn't Santa Claus. And as I've grown and come to this teaching, it's like God is an entity, a spirit that flows through you and it flows through me. In fact, if I'm going to be totally authentic and real with you, I'm going to tell you a little secret about myself. School was a social event for me. It's where I went and talked with my friends, had a hot lunch, It was a wonderful place. Did I have to take summer school one year? Yes, I did. Myself and 3 of my friends, we had to take summer school, and because there wasn't anybody teaching summer school there, we had to go to this college campus 40 miles away as sophomores in high school. Woohoo! Best day ever! Let me tell you. So I was at summer school, and there was a group of girls that always did this chant, and I'm sure it's a song, but I've never found it. They would go, God is you and God is me. God is every little baby. I love God on my mind. God is always right on time. I love that. It's such a great chant because God is you, God is me. God is every little baby. It's that spirit, that God, that essence, that spirit that flows through all of us, that divine nature. So when I came to this philosophy, knowing that God is a spirit, an energy, an entity that flows through me, it's not male or female, although we can say the male doing energy or female nurturing intuitive energy. We've got all of it inside of us, but that God spirit that flows through, and we are open at the top, open to explore, as Ernest Holmes would say. Because in that time, as he was putting together the science of mind, more things were being discovered. So keeping ourselves open at the top, what else can we learn? And then also tuning in with ourselves. What do I believe? What resonates with me? So with that compassion, handling ourselves with care, because nobody is like you. Nobody is like me. You don't want to be like anyone else. Be who you are. I remember I went to a workshop once, and they said, we want you to write down your problem, and then they took everybody's problem and put it in a basket. Here, now I want you to take somebody else's problem. And people are like, no, I want to just take my own problem. Because theirs might be bigger, it might be worse. I'm familiar with mine, right? So we're familiar with our own self, our own stuff, and how can I move to the next level? So we've got the awareness of authenticity. We've got the compassion. Now the courage to be who you are. Courage. Ernest Holmes says this, and I absolutely love it, in this thing called You. Dr. Holmes invites you to start from the truth. Your soul belongs to the universe. Your mind is an outlet through which the creative intelligence of the universe seeks fulfillment. That creative call, there's something inside all of us that's calling to continue to move forward. How can I move forward in this life and love where I'm at? My dad was a farmer. Farmers, it's a little rough job, so not a lot of money, so he opened a saw shop. And he could fix any kind of machine, lawnmowers, saw shops. We're in Nebraska, so a lot of people are like, you don't have any trees back there? Well, in the northwest corner, there are trees, and a lot of people using saws. And he loved farming. He did not love doing the saw shop. And people would come in, and he would get mad at them. Why did you try to fix your lawnmower? You don't know how to do this? Now you've just messed it up worse. And he would grumble and complain to the point that there was a little newspaper article about him, the grumpy old man of White Clay, Nebraska. I'm like, Dad, if you don't love something, you really shouldn't do it. And he's like, well, I got the shop. What am I going to do? It's like, well, there are other ways, you know? There's other things you can do. If you don't like working with people, because he didn't mind working on the stuff, but he didn't like working on it if people had already messed it up. But I saw him for years doing some things he did not love, which made me very clear in my life that if I am not loving it, I'm going to move to the next level and to the next level, because I've seen people stay in the same tired job that they hate for years and years and years, because then I got benefits here. There's this, you know, I don't want to step away from it. Mary Morrissey tells a story of a friend of hers who, Mary Morrissey wrote Prosperity Plus. She used to be a Unity minister, amazing, wonderful teacher. She does a Dream Builder Live big conference a couple times a year. And she had a friend, her name was Danny, and she was taking one of her classes, and she said, well, you know, I've got this job, and I've got these great benefits. And so Mary Morrissey asked her, what would you do? What would you love to do? And she started talking about these flower baskets that she just loves doing, and she does it voluntary, and she sends some to her friends, but she loved making these big hanging flower baskets, and she just talked about it, and she was creating it already in her mind. And she said, oh, and if I could just have my own nursery where I did this, and she painted the whole picture right there. And Mary Morrissey said, what is stopping you? She said, well, you know, I'd have to give up this job, and I got these benefits, and, you know, I got a salary, I've got that definite money that's coming in. And she said, well, maybe you should start exploring this. And so she went home and started talking to her husband, and they got really excited about it. And they found some farmland to buy, and they created this wonderful place. She quit her job. She had this wonderful place. Her husband quit his job, and they started working it together. And for 15 years, they were working it beautifully, wonderfully together. And one day she called Mary Morrissey, and she said, you know, yesterday I woke up and John didn't. Her husband had passed, and she said, you know, I'm so grateful that we got these 15 years to work together, because she was going to wait and try and do this when she retired, and she wasn't even at retirement age yet. And she said, I'm just so grateful that we had this wonderful time together, and we created this beautiful dream that gets to go and carry on, because his energy, his spirit, I know is with me, and it carries on. The love goes on. What would you love? What's holding you back? I think about things that hold me back, or stories I hear from people that hold them back from stepping into the divinity, into their dream, into what they're wanting. And I remember working with a practitioner in Kansas City, and she had in her basement all of these mats on the floor where kids would do gymnastics, and she had mirrors around. And she said, oh, I have a couple of them getting ready to graduate. She's 65, doing cartwheels down the aisle of everything. And I said, some of them are graduating. Oh my gosh, do you ever worry that you won't have enough to keep your business going? She started laughing, and she said, there's always more children. There's always more. But we limit ourselves by our own story. So it's like, what story am I telling myself about myself? Do I have the courage to step into my dream? Do I have the courage to trust the universe is flowing? Ernest Holmes said, the universe is conspiring to support your highest and best always, always, always. So if we could just step into that knowingness that all is well. Emma Curtis Hopkins, her words, rise up, O my soul. Rise up, O my soul. Rise up, O my soul, let spirit flow. Rise up, O my soul. Rise up, O my soul. Let me see the kingdom, and you are the kingdom. Let me see the kingdom everywhere I go. Now, if we use those words to really tune into our own self, could I see the kingdom out here, in here, everywhere I go? The words go on, heal the sick everywhere I walk. Could I take enough energy that I see the divinity in everybody, that it just rises them up to the next level of healing? Be my tongue every time I talk. When I speak my words, am I speaking the words of God? Am I speaking that spirit, that divine, pure, beautiful nature? I have to think of the next words. Everywhere I walk, be my tongue every time I talk. Let people know God. And that's that God within, that divinity, that divine spirit, that energy that flows through us, which means take time to sit in that contemplation and feel that goodness, that godness within, because we are connected. And that spirit, that energy, that flow gives us the words, the energy, the knowingness of the divinity that we are. Rise up, O my soul. Make sure that the words that I'm saying, and being aware of where we're at. I used to work with Reverend Brian Anderson in Vista, California, and he used to say, when you say I love you, it means I love who I am when I'm with you. Because the people that we really love, they bring out the best in us. They see us in the highest light. And let me always see you all in your highest and most beautiful light. Because that is an expression of you, that is an expression of me. And if I find myself bumping heads so much where I'm not seeing the divinity in the other person, well, how can I shift that? Or maybe I need to step away from it. Let me see people in their highest light. Let me be that love, that goodness, that godness, that divine spirit. Let me rise up, O my soul, and let me know that each day that I wake up is the best day ever. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. I am going to do a quick prayer before she comes forward with the offering. I just want to know that we are just breathing in the fullness of life, letting go of anything that does not serve us, that we are being very clear on our own authenticity. We are aware. We are compassionate, and we have the courage to allow the I am that we are beautifully and brilliantly to soar, to climb that mountain, to have that vision, to allow our dreams to flow, to see others in their highest light. Knowing this is true for me and it's true for you as we go to that space of gratitude, knowing all is well. I am so grateful for this day, for each and every person here, for the beauty, the brilliance, the uniqueness, and the authenticity that you bring to the table. Thank you, thank you. Knowing the universe would not be the same had you not shown up. As I release my word into the action of the law, knowing all is well. And so it is. Yeah, thank you.
Our ushers are coming forward, and we will share our blessing for the offering. And so let us know that divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. And so we share the mission statement at this part of our service because we are connecting the fact that we are giving our good because the center is in turn giving its good. And the letter I'm reading today was from someone who had asked for prayer for two different people or things. And she is writing to say the success of the prayer that she requested. And she is grateful for the healing of Lola the cat, who had an issue that has been resolved, but also for a man who is a single father, that he is hardworking and he is working, had been ill and unable to work, and and he is well, and he is back at work. He has his own business, and so he is thriving. And the person who submitted these is very grateful for all of that, as well as I know is the father and Lola the cat. So thank you for the letter, and let us rise up with Michael Paul Smith.
This is a message spiritual. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water, 'cause God's gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in white, God's gonna trouble the water. It looks like the band of the Israelites, God's gonna trouble the water. I said wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. I said wade in the water. Wade in the water, 'cause God's gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in red, God's gonna trouble the water. It looks like the band that Moses led, God's gonna trouble the water. I said wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water, 'cause God's gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in green, God's gonna trouble the water. It looks like the band of the New Thought theme, God's gonna trouble the water. I said wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water, 'cause God's gonna trouble the water. Yes, God's gonna trouble the water. Yes, God's gonna trouble the water, 'cause God's gonna trouble. He gonna trouble, and
And yes, thank you, Michael Paul Smith. That was wonderful. I love spirituals. I love them very much, and I always enjoy hearing them. Thank you. And thank you so much, Andy, for bringing it all together. Working the song with Reverend Valerie's talk. And Reverend Valerie has such an authentic way of talking about don't try to be somebody else because everybody else is already taken. And the only way you can do that is to be your authentic self. Thank you, Reverend Valerie. Thank you. I wanted to mention just a couple of things. We all know we've kind of talked about that a good bit. We do have the annual meeting. It'll be right in here at 12:30. And there is chili next door to tide you over during that time. You don't have to run out and get something. You're already here. And so we'd love to have you have a little lunch with us. So we appreciate your enjoying that wonderful chili. Also, we've been asked to mention that you can always get CDs of this service right there at the counter. They are available. And so make sure if you want to take the talk or take anything home that you stop up and just ask for it right there at the counter. And when Katie was talking about the workshop next week, she was looking for a little clarification. The teens have planned to do a workshop to include all of you who want to be a part of it and to show you how they do a workshop when they go to camp. We've talked about camp. They talk about going. They talk about how wonderful it is. But the workshops are where it really happens. And so they want to have as many as who are willing to have that experience. So that's next Sunday after service. So that is what their event is about. And so let us know that we have a wonderful meeting today, which is knowing ahead that this is fantastic and the wonderful things that come out are carrying us forward for the rest of this year. So for now, let us rise up and do our blessing, and we will then sing our song. I know divine love enfolds me, divine light leads me, divine life lives in me, divine wisdom inspires me, divine compassion expresses through me, and divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life and expression. It is good and very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a compassionate world that works for all. I move through my days with grace and ease, in peace and love, in health and wellness, in fullness and plenty, and in loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself, with blessing and in deep gratitude, I know for all life. There is only God. There is only God. There is only God. So let us do our peace song with joy, and let us bring peace to the world.